Yeah. You go with the first one and then go with the second.
Thanks for coming. I'm Kiki, and my question, my question is, as international students, we are always encouraged to choose marketing analytics rather than brand marketing. If the first job is in brand marketing, do you think it will limit our career development? And when we choose the first job, do you think we need to carefully think about our career directions, or just follow hard to try bravely from the beginning? What do you think international students need to learn in their first job in the USA?
Well, those are excellent. And then Nick, you want to win yet?
How you doing, Ms. Garinois? So my question is, as someone who's had plenty of experience working internationally, working in many different states, countries, and continents throughout your career, how important do you think it is for professionals to gain experience working internationally? And do you think that's played a big role in your continued success?
Well, I think those are two different questions. I cannot bite them, unfortunately. So those are two excellent questions. So we are saying to bite. So let me answer both. So I'll start with the easier one, which is the international career. I mean, in my case, there's no doubt that was a tremendous advantage because when you go to international businesses, you're in a smaller pot. So I work for US companies abroad. So I was given responsibilities of C-suite when I was, 5 years down my career because the business was smaller. So as a result, I exercised that muscle of, potential C-suite person or, board member early in my career. And that gave me self-confidence. When you're in a bigger organization, it takes longer because, there's more steps and there's more people, more stakes. So when you're abroad, it's, in countries like Italy, where I work, or Brussels, or Switzerland, or Greece, there's less people, so you get responsibility earlier. And that, for me, it was tremendous. It gave me the self-confidence that I needed and the experience. Now, the downside of it is that if you're far away from the center, people may forget you. And so, again, the center holds itself very well. And the number one reason why we actually like some people is because we see them. And I say that to all of you, by the way. I know that you like to work from home. If you're not seen, it doesn't work that way. So again, that the same applies when you're overseas. You're not seen. And when the moment of succession planning comes, we all human. There is the facts, there's the paper, but then it's the emotions. What do you think about him? So people forget about you sometimes, and that's a risk you have to take for the international careers. But there's no doubt there's a benefit. I would suggest you should do that earlier than later, because if they're to forget you in the later stage of your career, that's bad. In the earlier stages, there will always be need for people like you that have exercised the muscle of the CEO and your self-confidence back at the center. So definitely yes, and the sooner the better. Now your question is it's a very good one as well. And there's no rules again, but my experience is that at the end of the day, you have to do what's in your heart. Unless you do what you like to do, then you don't advance. There's always rules. People will give you rules. You have to do this, to do that. No, you have a talent, and your heart always tells you what is your talent, and you have to maximize that. And that alone tells you where to go. If you're good in analytics, you go to analytics. If you're good into something else, you go somewhere else. There is no such a thing as a rule. You have to start there to be more successful. That is not true. It's absolutely not true. In the long term, you'll be more successful when you do what you have as a talent. Because people like what they do and they do what they like. We all have a talent, and most people don't even recognize that talent, which is a shame. Do you know, by the way, what talent means? What is it? Again, it's a high word. So talent is the money, it's the cost, right? So there is a parable in the Bible, I think, not so good on those historical things. So if it's not Bible, it's something else. Don't take me for granted. So it was this father who had two sons, and he was a farmer, and then he had 10 talents, and he gave 5 to one son and 5 to the others.
That's the Bible.
Is the Bible?
And one son went in.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the.
You know, thank God. You know, thank God, because my sister watched that video. So thank you, that reassures me. So anyway, so this father gave 5 to the one son. What were the names of this? You seem very important.
No, it's bad that I don't
Sorry,
remember.
no, it doesn't matter.
I,
Isaac and something else like that.
yeah,
Abraham and Isaac, I mean, it doesn't matter. But they were two sons, 5 bits, 5 points. And one son took the coins and put them under the earth to save them, and stayed with the father to take care of the lands. And the other son, who was the youngest, because he didn't inherit the lands, he then traveled. He went away with his coins. He used the coins to buy some animals. He bought some cows, and the cows produced milk, and the milk produced more money, and then more cows. And he came back many years after with a lot of talents back to his family, to give some back to his brother. So the oldest brother got really annoyed, and he said to the father, "Look what you did to me. You know, I had to stay here to take care of the lands, and you gave me the lands." And he came back with, you know, thousands of money. So look what you obliged me to stay here to take care of you, and now I'm poorer than you. And the father said, "No, I gave you 5 talents each. You decided to stay, and he decided to go. And then he decided to buy cows, and you decided to bury them." So again, it is for you to recognize what is the asset. Is the land or the talents? It is the talent asset. And that's what you need to maximize. Try to understand what you like, and you will only do well if you do what you like. You're going to work 60 years, you may as well like it, right? It's unfortunate. In the long term, you're not happy if you don't like what you do. And again, in marketing, you can enter from 50 doors. Enter from the door that you like, and that's how you'll excel. And there's no rules. But that applies to everything. It's not just for marketing. You know, again, understanding what your talent is something you have. You owe that to yourself. And I don't. It took me, I think, 25 years to understand my talent. I grew up in a family that, you know, I was the middle daughter of a father that desperately wanted a son, and he wanted an engineer as a son, and I became a nuclear engineer of all things. And I ended up in MIT because of my father, again, you know. And my talent, it was actually into problem solving and creativity. And it's only later that somebody told me, "No, look, you should try marketing." I never studied marketing. I was an engineer, and then I did finance at the business school. And somebody told me, "You're very good at marketing. Why don't you try it?" And then the moment I started it, by the way, in my time, marketing was for the bad students. And I wouldn't even, I would not even go there because I was the top of my class in all the schools. So, it was kind of, to me, an oxymoron that, perhaps that's why I didn't recognize my talent, because I had this model in my mind that marketing is for the bad students, so it cannot be me. And it was absolutely me. And that's how I built my career. So again, it takes time to be honest with yourself, what you really like, what you're good at. And it's not necessarily what your parents think of you or what your environment tells you or what your school tells you. It's what your heart tells you. And you find it through time. Once you find it, cherish it. Don't bury it in the land. That would be criminal if you do that. And even at the cost of slower start, it's okay. It will pay back.
Thank you.
Super, thank you. You're welcome to join, yeah, and take the 2 seats. I'll ask you with the Q&A instruments. And could you share the screen just for a second? So I want to show just 2 quick slides so that we know. And then Georgia, we can take us many minutes as we can of your time. So while my colleague is showing the slide, so the first one is about, go to the next one with the list of the next one. So what we do in these classes, we make a list of companies that hire international students. You see them on the left-hand side in green, and those who don't, right? And we'll try to have a question about that. And then on the next slide, the solution to the problem for companies is we have created a non-for-profit in this class that makes it easier for international companies to hire international students. We do all the paperwork for you guys. It's called NYUPros.com, and so we encourage companies to visit our site and learn about it. And with that, we'll go to the next 2 questions, the last 2 questions actually, yeah. And yeah, you can stop sharing.
By the way, I have time, I told you, if you're willing to.
Great, excellent. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Scheduled for 20 to 30 minutes longer.
All right,
Up to you.
great. Yeah, yeah, then we can go these 2 questions.
Don't
Yeah,
feel, I don't want to have
Yeah.
people that I didn't answer the questions.
right. So these are the last 2 questions. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Daniela. So my question is, with your experience in the beauty industry, including board positions at Natura, as well as your previous role as VP at Estée Lauder, what advice would you give to someone aspiring to break into the beauty and luxury industry, especially women looking to advance into leadership roles?
And you want to hear the other question as well, or not?
Yeah, yeah, that's what, I mean, you can go ahead.
Okay, hi, I'm Tafanum, but you can call me Tap. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming today. So as an international student, my question to you is, how do international companies benefit from hiring international students?
I mean, those are both excellent questions. You can take a day for both.
Exactly.
Yeah, so again, I'll start with this, because, you know, that has been my industry for so many years. So yeah, your questions, how do you succeed in beauty? Or in general, in the field of luxury and aspiration. So typically, people that like that field and succeed, they're quite visionary. I was with Mr. Lauder yesterday with that class, and you know, it is amazing to see this gentleman, who in my view is the smartest, most visionary person I ever met in life. It's not a coincidence that he built so many brands and a successful business. And he was telling me he was dreaming some ideas. He would actually wake up in the morning and he would think that it was a competitor doing that, and then he would realize it was in his dreams. So, you know, some people are very good in that business because they have this visionary capacity. And that is linked to also the storytelling capacity. Now, beauty and luxury in general is a business of aspirations and dreams and hope, right? I mean, the last thing the world needs is another cream, right? Would agree with that. It's a few millions of creams. So why do we need more? Because, you know, hope is unlimited. And as such, it's a good business to do because you can do more. So it's a good business, but what makes it even complex and better is that it's not just a product, because there's plenty of products. It's really the storytelling. So do you like storytelling? Do you like, you know, understanding the person in front of you and then telling them a story about something? You know, typically good people in that industry do very well in the storytelling part. The third dimension is that of quality. Again, Mr. Lauder used to say, you know, when you close the door of a Mercedes-Benz, the car, the Mercedes car. I'm not a car person, but I'm giving this metaphor because he used it. It makes a specific noise, loud. And that gives you the confidence and the comfort that it's a super engineered car and it's worth the price you pay. And he said that when the lipstick, when this closes, I want that noise, this look. And that attention to detail, attention to quality detail and the signals of detail you have to understand that, because, if you sell a hope or a dream and you ask a big price for that, there has to be something there that signals to the other person that they're not stupid. It's your work, so to speak. And again, that understanding of quality per se, and also the signals of quality, it is very important in any business, but particularly in beauty and also in the luxury apparel. And that's so important, what goes to that detail. So again, in beauty, there's also another side, which is the lower price items, which it's quality led, but not so much into the code of luxury, so to speak. So again, there is always a situation where you have a need for storytelling, vision, and quality. So in any of those three, you should have a talent. And of course, at the core, there is also the service. Beauty is a service business. As we said before, makeup artist, you come somebody that tells you how to do your makeup, right? And tomorrow will be a machine. So do you like that service business? If you are into product alone, you'll be better into pharmaceutical company. That you need a product. And so again, do you like telling your friends how to dress themselves or how to put the makeup or not? So again, going back to the discussion we had before, which is the talents, and you have to understand which of the 4 angles you fit. Don't go there just because it's a growing business. That's a good thing, by the way. Being in a growing business is always a good. Don't go to businesses that are declining because it's hard. And that is a good thing to want to go there. But if you have to build your career, you have to understand what is your talent and then position yourself to succeed in that business. And your question was about the international students. Well, that's a very, very dear question to me, both because, the Fulbright organization, I understand how difficult it is for international students nowadays to find themselves a job that infuriates me. It was difficult at my time as well, by the way. But now it's even more difficult. And also how much all countries around the world, they're moving towards localization and globalization, which scares me to death. And I think it's a very bad idea. Right. My generation, the boomers, we are going to be the wealthiest generation of all in the last 20 generations, I think, and definitely wealthier than our kids' generation, the millennials. And because in our generation, 3 revolutions happened: globalization, technology, and women at work. I mean, never ever in society 3 things of that magnitude happened in that period. So globalization, in my view, was the biggest. I mean, frankly, there's no secrets. I mean, the China engine provided growth to the world. And in that sense, today, as in the future, the India engine provides further growth. So I am so scared to see that governments, people become more local. I always believed that internationals are better than the locals because they try harder. Look at America. I mean, I call it the immigrant mentality, which is very dear to me because I was always an immigrant, so I wouldn't be dear to me. When you're in a different country, you're native. You speak the language fully or you don't speak the language. You are not part of the system. And you would be, frankly, philosophically speaking, you should be more scared. Ironically, it's the opposite. Actually, when you have too much to lose, when you're local and you have the comforts, you're more scared. When you have nothing to lose, you're fearless. It's very liberating. So I always found it easier for me to advance in my career and take risks when I was in a different country. In my country, I was in my comfort zone and I didn't want to lose it. So fundamentally for me, for any of us, of any nationality, we liberate ourselves, we free ourselves, and we understand our talents when we're not comfortable. Therefore, it has to be abroad. It has to be another country. And it's not about international students, it's about a human being that when it's in discomfort, embraces change. When you're comfortable, you just don't want to lose it. You know, why, if you have all the money in the world, you know, a nice job, why would you like to risk it? Look at America. America was built on that, right? So that is why I encourage to the questions what made me for international careers. And that's why I encourage also companies to sponsor international students. Now, for companies, beyond the immigrant mentality that makes you a better employee, in my view, in my humble view, there is also potential they have to train you in their homeland and send you to another country, which is fantastic because, you know, it meets, ticks two boxes. Now, why is it so hard nowadays to have people like you sponsored for, you know, visas? I don't understand it. That's a shame. I guess many people want to come to America. That's the problem. And because America is one of the few countries that offer the opportunities today. But I always say to people like you and to the companies where I'm in the world, you can do more. Because fundamentally, everybody is more successful when there is in discomfort. And the immigrant mentality is what will make you win. You have to put yourself in that mentality, and you are. If you came here for school, you're feeling it, right? So keep up. Yeah. And it's a good thing. That's how the world becomes a better place, when we are uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Georgia, for, you know, these extra minutes. I would like also to thank my two colleagues, Marisa and Patrick, you know, who stayed extra. Last to be able to enjoy this, and we could show this video that students did. So we made a video for you. I'd like to share.
Thank you.
What?
You've joined the live Finance for Marketing Decisions class at NYU School of Professional Studies. In our class, we select a Fortune 500 company to learn about finance by making decisions on pricing, headcount, marketing, and profitability. CFOs and CMOs from Disney, Coca-Cola, and McDonald's have joined us to respond to questions from the audience. All speaker sessions are free and open to everyone. And today, over 50 students got together to say,
ขอบคุณคุณการินัวสำหรับโอกาสนี้
যখন আমরা সব কাজ করছিলাম
我们期待这一天
on behalf of all the students from the Philippines, maraming salamat.
To Miami.
to New York
a Colombia
India से
到中国谢谢 Garinois 女士
ขอบคุณคุณการินัว
ধন্যবাদ মিস Garinois
Gracias señora Garinois
Thank you, Mrs. Garanos.
Thank you, guys. You know, again, thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to continuing the discussion with any of you. You know, drop me an email. I'm not easily available because I travel a lot, but I answer emails. So yeah, looking forward to hear from you. Good luck with your careers, and I'm sure you will be very successful. Just trust yourselves.
Beautiful words. Yeah, thank you very much.